chew bubble gum.
You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum, recorded from a secret location in the city that moves mountains.
Greetings.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Oh man, that sounds good. That is definitely ear candy. How's it going today, Dirty Dan? Or should I say, how's it going this evening, Dirty Dan?
Unfortunately, outside of the podcast and radio show, life happens.
Yes,
and
it does.
There are some not pleasant memories that go on with not pleasant injuries, and sometimes you just got to deal with it.
Yes, you do. And, I encourage all of our listeners to keep Dirty Dan in your thoughts and prayers and send positive vibes and energy his way.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome, brother. How's your week been? Your week in the whole? Because I'm going to tell you what, mine has been nonstop all week long.
Well, we both work kind of banker's hours at our factory jobs, but why did it seem like if I wasn't getting a hold of you at 10:30, 11 at night, getting off work or still at work, you were?
Yes, yes, you are correct. And we are coming to you from Bunker Studios. Hopefully, within the next couple of weeks, we'll have everything set up. All of our furniture has finally been delivered. It has not been put together yet. But hopefully next Sunday, we'll have everything set up. And as soon as we do, I'll be posting pictures on our social media. Be sure to check that out. We're going to start out with some listener email, if that sounds good to you.
Absolutely. And might I just say, the cream eggshell white color these walls are immaculate compared to the insane asylum white.
Well, I always like the padded cells. I could just lay in there and sleep.
And that's coming from the colorblind kid.
Yes. Brett from New Jersey says, "Hello, folks at Here to Chew Bubblegum. I'm a brand new listener and just started listening earlier this week. I discovered your website. And show through TikTok. I'm very impressed and can proudly say that I listen to at least 2 episodes each day. Now, on to my question: where or when can we expect the interview with the representative from Ingersoll Lockwood? I can't wait to hear this interview. Best wishes and many blessings, Roswell." Well, we're going to hold that question just for a minute, and after the email segment, we will answer that.
For a new listener, I got to say, it's a little ballsy, but I like your go-getter attitude.
Oh, yes, definitely.
All right, so next up, we got Timmy from good old Louisiana. "Hello, Dirty Dan, the Barbecue Man. I know that you've been on the show a few weeks now, but welcome to the show. Thank you. How do you like it so far? Keep the ear candy coming." Well, my friend, Roswell to you. I've been blessed with this awesome opportunity to work with a very, very genuine and awesome cohort, I'd call him.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
He's definitely the better half of us, but
No.
Yeah. No. I'm the bigger half. You're the better half. No, it's definitely fun. It's definitely nice, and it's awesome to see all these listeners that are not just writing in, but actually interacting with us, and the following we've gained just since I've officially come on board. It's wonderful. So, Timmy, again, thank you. Hopefully that answers your questions satisfactory or better, and hopefully we'll hear from you again.
Very good. Yes, thank you, Timmy. Dixon09, regular listener of the show, says, "Hey, Goose, Dirty Dan, and the rest of the gang. I'm so very excited for the upcoming interview with DJ Nikki from Ingersoll Lockwood. I've been down this rabbit hole since you first mentioned it on the show. You guys get better each week. Are you going to do anything special for the first anniversary show? Didn't you start the show in October of last year? Thanks for reading my emails for the last few weeks. Take care and stay woke, Roswell." Thank you very much, Dixon09. Again, we'll be addressing the Ingersoll Lockwood interview coming up in just a few minutes. As for the anniversary, it was October. You are correct. I can't.
October 14th, wasn't it?
Well, it was either the 13th or the 14th. I would have to go back and look it up. But you are definitely correct. When you read the next email, I'm going to go back and look it up because you say the 14th, and for some reason, I was thinking the 13th, but maybe it was the 14th.
I'll bet you $1. We have Philip from Indiana. Have you or anyone in your audience heard of the device that Nikola Tesla invented to communicate with other planets? It's a transducer capable of converting the high frequency of cosmic rays to an energy field which can interface with the human mind. We can use these energies for healing the human body or simply allow them to guide and instruct us as Tesla did. It's definitely worth your time to research and talk about on the show. Thank you for your time. I believe it's been talked about by both of us recently.
Yes, we have.
But anything that Tesla had his hands on or was a part of, chances are I probably fangirl fiction worshipped a little too much to it already. So.
Oh, yeah.
That guy's a genius.
Yes, he was. And you were correct. It was October the 14th. That was the first midweek moment that we actually did an announcement announcing the show. And then the first episode was on the just 5 days later. So like the
20th.
Yeah, the
20th, I think it was. What it said.
The 20th. So you did good on that. See, I was going to. I mean, hell, I didn't even remember. So
I know your show better than you do.
Yes, you do. As for doing an anniversary type, maybe, possibly, that would be something we'd have to think about. But that is a good question, and thank you very much, Dixon09.
Dixon, since you decided to cheat on me this week with Goose instead of your savory introductionist over here, Dirty Dan, I will say we will do some sort of recognition or celebration if you send in a list so we can create a poll.
Oh, that is a good idea. Now, what list would you want him to put? What kind of poll?
I mean, it could be in celebration of 1 year or this many shows. Pick this topic. It's related because of this.
Right.
Or let's talk about this many things. Or let's try and get this many listeners to write in or call in or something like, something that involves everybody that's a part of this growing family of Here to Chew Bubblegum.
That is a good idea. Dixon09, you've been challenged. Unnamed from Planet 9 says, "Hey, Goose, I actually had one of my coworkers forward me a TikTok video from the Here to Chew Bubblegum profile. It's great that someone from Ingersoll Lockwood contacted you back. I can't wait to listen. You guys rock." Yes, they have, and we'll be talking about that momentarily.
I have some TikTok news.
Really? What kind of TikTok news do you have?
Thanks to a very, very not cheap VPN program and a backdoor VPN program, your boy's gonna get back on it and cause some more trouble here.
Well, good. Well, see, man, I told you a couple months ago I got you back on.
Yeah, but you only offered one half of that equation. I needed both halves.
Oh no, I could have got you back on. And you remember what your reply to me was? I'm going to take a little break.
Yeah, I mean, it was needed.
I know, brother. I'm just giving you a hard time. The next email is a book, and I'm glad that you get to read it.
It is a miniature novel.
Well, yeah, but we are very happy that our listeners put that much effort into writing this email. And it's very, very
Absolutely.
good, very well-written email.
I'm going to preface this with three things. I am going to pronounce the name of this writer as I would growing up down south. And that's the way I know, so it's probably going to be wrong. But my apologies if it is. Number two is, if you guys write in something this long or longer, if it's longer, I'd like to see some references. But if it's, this long, by all means, don't be discouraged. We will read it. We will absolutely entertain it, because you put in that effort, you listen to us, we will return that. Third is, I'm going to try to not say the potential grammatical errors. And on that note, Bo Lynn from Oregon. Hello, gang. My name is Bo Lynn, and I'm a rugged wrangler out on the Oregon Trail. I listen to your show weekly to help pass the time, and it's a great way to dodge dysentery. We see a lot of strange things out here on the trail, and we have been using the information from Chew Bubblegum to battle the ailments. The constant ear candy seems to be the best medicine. Maybe someday I'll share a story or two, but the clan and I are always listening to every episode. Little Billy Steve Donnie Ray wants you to know Rebecca Short is his ear candy, and his heart is healed every time he repeats one of her episodes. My favorite episode is episode 33 with Justin Perkins and Talk Junkie. Mine too. Talk about ear candy. Every time I hear his voice, it's like a rock-hard, sticky green apple Jolly Rancher soaring into my wet, sloppy, and hairy ear hole. Good Lord, the descriptors. I will be in touch, my friends. Bo Lynn, Roswell.
Yeah, hey, Justin, I know you listen to every episode. I'm going to rephrase. He said, Justin Perkins from Talk Junkie, talk about ear candy. Every time I hear his voice, it's like rock hard, sticky green apple Jolly Rancher soaring into my wet, sloppy ear and hairy ear hole. You know, I mean, that is great, but soaring into my wet, sloppy, and hairy ear hole. So, Justin, bro.
I'm pretty sure they got a pill for that.
Oh, yes. I am sure they do. You've heard the one about the guy that was hard of hearing, so he went to the doctor with a Viagra stuck in his ear, and the doctor said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm hard of hearing." Ha ha. So.
But
yeah.
I'd keep your day job.
You know, me and Beagle were talking about Justin a few weeks ago when we were at the Pikeville Comic Con, and we were talking about how good Justin's podcast is, and he's got a bunch of new episodes up right now. If you've not had time, be sure to check them out. And I described, and we came across when me and Beagle were talking. He's like, "How would you describe it?" I said, "Well, I would describe it as me listening to an older gentleman whittling a stick on his front porch, and he's giving me important life lessons." And
yeah, but it's not just whittling a stick. He's whittling a 3D triangle or pyramid with a ball inside it, and it never gets taken out.
Yeah, so could he be an old man sitting on a porch peeling an apple with a pocket knife?
Chances are it's probably his thumbnail.
Oh, okay. Well, see, you know, those are the type of guys, you know, if any of our listeners ever cross any older guys sitting on a porch whittling a stick, eating an apple with a pocket knife, listen to what they say.
You're gonna want to go look up in Pennsylvania in New Hanover Township for Mr. Ron Frick. That man, one of the greatest scout leaders and masters I've ever come across of all time, was exactly all three of those things.
Now,
all summer camp.
Let me ask you a question. Did you have a little mom and pop diner or restaurant up there?
Yeah, I had one 15 minutes one way. I had one 15 minutes north, 50 minutes south, 50 minutes east, and 15 minutes west.
Now, did locals, I mean, and I'm sure there's older guys that come in there and hang out every morning and drink coffee and tell stories.
When they see the car coming down the street 3 blocks away on the one on Betty's Cafe, I never got this old guy's name. I honestly don't think he even ever said it because none of the waitresses ever called him that. But when it was plow season, I'd always come in there, and he was like an old-time county worker, and he'd just show up, and they'd have 3 cups of coffee waiting there for him. He'd down one, he'd put sugar in the next one, drink that a little slower, put milk and sugar in the last one, sip it, enjoy a piece of toast and an egg, and he was out. Every day.
You know, the town I'm from, you know, we had that, and then we have one here locally, the town I'm in now. And, you know, some people have nicknamed those tables or benches.
Oh, yeah.
The Dead Pecker Bench. Did your town have that nickname for him? Or
it wasn't Dead Pecker. We had one that was next to, unfortunately, a Planned Parenthood, so you can only imagine the name that was carved.
Well, hey, you know, that just goes to show you that things in Pennsylvania and East Kentucky are similar.
Yeah, Commonwealth Unite, unfortunately. In fact, the saying, or the name of it, was close to Pup's saying.
Don't get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, just not too many words.
Let's see. Michael from Kentucky says, who agrees that an IQ test should be required to work in the Senate and Congress for any government job? And I see your dude. If you'd made a video, all you got to do to get views is just bounce, and you get views. You would have got like 100,000 views instantly just then.
No, see, I'd have to not only be topless clothing wise, but I'd have to hire a whole makeup and hair team to come and shave my burly ass chest because it don't come in a V-neck, so that people could actually see something other than hair. Otherwise, well, no, I take that back. Just give me some Jack Links and I'll be Bigfoot.
So you mean? Well, I mean, first to take care of the question, yes, I totally agree with that. They should be given an IQ test. And second,
and what you said was my answer was yes. I was jumping up and down with both hands.
And second, so you mean in the new poster, the one that we'll be debuting another one very soon. But in the current one, you don't have a jacket on. You mean that's your body hair?
That's my body hair. No, it's not a mullet. It is a full head of hair that I'm growing to donate. Because I was that sicko that used to use thinning shampoo because my hair is so thick.
Right.
There's always a bucket list, so I'm going to donate it. But unfortunately, the hair connects to the face, and the face connects to the neck, and the neck connects to the back and chest. And
right.
Sometimes I just walk around going.
Well, you know, I don't care what they say. No matter how much you drink of the no more tears shampoo, it will not stop you from crying.
No, I cry every morning, noon, and night.
I want to thank all of our listeners for writing in.
Whoa.
Do you have one more?
I do.
I am sorry. I am jumping ahead of myself.
And this is something that I have planned for the radio show tomorrow night. So, shame on you, Mr. Goose.
I am sorry, brother. I'm sorry. Oh,
Glenn from Kentucky.
Yes, and this is a very, very good question.
That's why I said it's on my radio show topic. Hey, Goose and Dirty Dan. I just read that Apple will scan all iPhones for illegal child abuse images. While I understand this, I think it will start a movement in privacy issues. What do you guys think? I will listen for your answer, Roswell. Goose, I'll let you take this first because hopefully you'll say some of the stuff I'm going to say and I won't get so worked up.
Well, all right. You know, people do have a right to privacy, but...
Hey, what phone do you have? Isn't it like me, an iPhone?
Yes, it is.
All right.
You know, people do have a right to privacy, but at the same time, when you do illegal stuff that involve children, or you know, if I'm just going to be blunt, if you abuse children or you beat old people, you are a piece of shit and you should be hung.
And you're going to be in Dirty Dan's beef stew real fucking quick.
You know, and so what if it violates their privacy? You know. So what if it violates their privacy? They don't need to be doing shit like that in the first place. I don't care. I am a patriot, but I'm willing to give up a little bit of that freedom to get some of these sick bastards off the street.
I'm afraid to go back to jail again.
Again.
You're getting soft on me, though, Goose.
Well, hey, man. Hey.
Death by hanging? No. Let's get the bamboo shoots out, and I'll give them the good old camo ratchet strap job so they can't see them. And then suddenly, you know, a whole bunch of rain falls and the UV lights over top, and 6 days later, they're 20 feet in the air, and they're just a beautiful piece of art, living art now.
Well, see, hey,
the plants are living at least.
That one's even better. I mean, you personally, do you have a problem with Apple doing that? I don't.
I got nothing to hide. I just hope they have a sick, twisted sense of humor when they realize it's a meme.
Really? Funny.
I mean, I have some questionable stuff on there, but no, there's nothing.
You're right. You know,
it's photoshopped, I swear.
Yeah, but you know something that surprises me about that too is one of the shootings a few years ago. You actually, and I can't remember which one it was. You had a guy that had ordered some ammo or some firearms from Buds in Lexington, and the federal government wanted Apple to help them crack his phone, and
they said no.
Yes, and they said no. So this actually does surprise me, but at the same time, I'm glad that they're stepping up to the plate and trying to get some of these perverse people that are child predators out. You know,
it's because the man with all the money, Epstein, isn't technically quote unquote alive anymore. So they're getting ballsy in big court because, you know, suddenly they're getting backed and whatnot.
And you're going to talk about that on the radio show?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely. It has no derogatory words, no cuss words. It paints a slightly dark image to capture the attention, but doesn't mortify young listeners or old listeners. And it's actually kind of from a local source, so I think it needs to get brought on the radio.
Well, good. That sounds good. Now, I want to thank all of our listeners for emailing in. You can always call, text, or leave a voicemail by calling 606-373-3396, or they can email. How can they email, Dirty Dan?
Well, we have an addition to the email list now.
Yes, we do.
You can email goose at heretotchewbubblegum.com. You can email me, Dirty Dan in the Flesh, by going to dirtydan at heretotchewbubblegum.com, or the wonderful Miss Rebecca Short of the Short Shit Show at Rebecca at heretotchewbubblegum.com. Ned, Elliot, or Pup as well at heretotchewbubblegum at yahoo.com.
There you go. We're going to jump right into segment one, and some of our emails gave away what our big announcement was. But our big announcement is we have been contacted by a representative from Ingersoll Lockwood, and
with ties to the board.
Yes, definitely ties to the board. And we have the interview in the can. The interview is done. We'll be playing some parts of that in next week's show.
Why next week?
Because it's episode 42. And did you want to tell them? Do you want to tell them why episode 42?
Because according to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, all the answers we have been wanting, the universe always has the answer as 42.
There you go. Now, I know you've got a story you're going to talk about. I'll probably strike mine this week, but I want to play the voicemail that was left for us. Tomorrow will make 3 weeks ago?
Now, quick recap here. We were headed back from breakfast, I believe. We were headed back from the radio show.
Yes.
With Eli, and I'm sitting in the back seat, and you're driving, and Rebecca's up front. We're heading back to the bunker, and phone starts ringing. It's a show line. I'll let it go to voicemail, and we get dropped off, and I get a text from Goose that scares the ever-living hell out of me. It says, "Hey, I need you to listen to something, so come meet up with me as soon as you can." Okay. That's, what did I do this time? We get ready to head out, and we meet up. And lo and behold, this almost mid or Central American toned man is looking Casper White at me. And I'm like, my heart's sinking. I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, dude, you are not going to believe what's on this phone. I said, okay, well, you going to tell me? And then, of course, he's fumbling around to get it. I'm like, oh, Goose, you're killing me here. Thank God Rebecca was already sitting. And, y'all hear what I heard.
Here it is. It's 1:30, and we'll be back to give you our expressions and explain how we felt after we heard this. It
is 1:30 of the best, absolute best, delicate ear candy you'll ever hear.
Here it is.
Yeah, hi, this is Daryl J. Nicky, or DJ Nicky, calling for Goose, or, I'm sorry, I wrote the other gentleman's name down, Dirty Dan. Anyway, I'm calling on behalf of Ingersoll Lockwood. They've gotten your emails, and especially the last voicemail, and they asked me to call back. I'm not directly working for them. I'm running Carbon Capture Shield, one of their projects. I'm also helping Paul Hemphill with the American Education Defenders. Anyway, I wanted to call and answer some questions. You can give me a call back. I'm currently in Germany, so I can give you my Google number, which will ring through to my laptop if I have that tab open. So that number is 40. It's almost 6 p.m. here now, so I might not be available too much longer today, but maybe we can talk later in the week, or I'm happy to appear on one of your shows if we want to schedule that. But yeah, I'd love to. I had to check out with your website. I really like what you guys do, so I'm sure Ingersoll Lockwood would enjoy me talking to you. I could also connect you with some other people on the board who may be interested in talking. So, and they're actually on the board of Ingersoll, whereas I'm just managing one of their sub-projects. So anyway, again, my name is DJ, or Daryl J, and number 404 to talking to you. Bye.
And that was it. You know, and when the voicemail first started, I was ecstatic. I was just blown away. And Dirty Dan was as well. Rebecca was. I mean, I was speechless when I first heard it. I was speechless. Eargasms for days. That is correct, my friend. That is correct.
But it got better because he actually is real.
Yes, he is. Hell of an interview. I mean, you know,
hell of a man.
Yes, he is a great guy. Again, his name's DJ Nicky, and he will be on the show next week. We'll probably have different parts of the interview for the next couple of weeks. But DJ Nicky from IngersollLockwood.com. Thank you very much, my friend, and we will have him back on again in the future. Now, Dirty Dan, I think that you want to talk about a little bit about Project 1794. Is that correct?
That is correct. You know, because my very intimate and avid listener, Dixon09, had requested some more information. We briefly touched on it. But, you know, I have a plethora of it. So I would like to indulge him and dive into the scandal that is titled and known as Project 1794. Because I don't think we will ever get rid of this issue.
No.
Declassified documents released to the public by the U.S. Air Force confirmed that it partnered with a Canadian company, Avro Aircraft, to build high-speed, advanced round aircraft. This partnership started in 1956 and was named Project 1794. They openly admitted that reported UFO sightings by pilots and air traffic control towers were, in fact, advanced military aircraft. They allowed people to think they were seeing alien aircraft to keep the project secured and lied directly in response to all inquiries by public offices. Because that's not shady.
No, not at all.
According to the U.S. National Archives, the initiative was to build a vertical takeoff and landing, or VTOL, vehicle with a top speed between Mach 3 to Mach 4. Now, real quick before I continue, if people don't know how fast Mach 3 is, it's fucking fast. And Mach 4 is damn near plaid. Thank you, Spaceball. And an altitude ceiling above 100,000 feet.
Comb the desert.
Howard the Schwartz. The USAF contracted Avro Canada to build the aircraft. All projects that were known publicly were falsely declared unsuccessful to the public. The release of documents due to, quote-unquote, the Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA, by the DoD in 2016 validated years of witness testimony where people were falsely identified as crazy or unreliable. This is part one of the documents released by the DoD. With its round design standing at nearly 5 feet tall and 18 feet wide. In the west corner, the Avro Canada VZ9AV Avrocar looks identical to a small UFO.
Oh, yes. Now, I wonder where the government got that idea from. Roswell.
Maybe it was that weather balloon that crashed in 47.
Yeah, definitely could have been.
You know, them pesky weathermen, they can't ever get it right. That's why their stuff always crashes.
Yeah.
It was going to be the car of the future, and they were set to start selling the public until the U.S. government came in. And, of course, they purchased the entire project. After that, the car, round floating car, basically, was declared a failure, and the project was evidently dropped. Until a recent FBI release, and by recent, I mean a 2004 video from the U.S. Defense Department where two Navy F-A-18F fighter jets tailgated a flying object hurtling off the San Diego coast. Most people don't know about the Avro Corporation, so the release of the video seemed to validate extraterrestrial beliefs. It's quoted, "These aircraft, we'll call them aircraft, are displaying characteristics that are not currently within the U.S. inventory nor in any known foreign inventory that we are aware of," Elizondo said, referring to the flying saucers encounter. The aircraft didn't have any obvious form of propulsion and was maneuvering in ways that could be deadly for normal human beings. but not unmanned AI aircraft. But that was then. So what do we have now? We know the DoD subcontracted a company in Canada to make ground aircraft. We know when people reported them as UFOs, the military denied them. We know encounters with them are dramatic due to their advanced capabilities. Goose, I'm going to show you this little comparison. It says, it's got two pictures of a car. It says, car from 1950.
Right.
And a Lamborghini Huracan from 2012.
Okay.
And then below, it's got that same UFO picture. It says, from 1950, what do they have now?
Exactly. You know, and not to give anything away, but coming up in on next week's show, DJ we ask him a certain question and he gives us his opinion on something. And that's something that we've said before on the show, but we've recently discovered something else. So I encourage everyone to tune in because this is a hell of an interview.
And not just tune in, but in the meantime, go to thinkonYourOwn.com. Look at this for yourself. Read what they have to say and answer it yourself. Below are a few of the newer sightings that far surpass what we've encountered in the past. When a distinguished but elderly scientist states that something is possible, he is certainly right. Almost certainly right. When he states that something is impossible, he is very probably wrong. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That was a quote from Arthur C. Clarke. However, but wait, there's more. There is more.
All right, Billy.
That's Mr. Billy to you.
Okay.
One of these declassified documents, it details the existence of Project 1794. It has the, which was what I had used to briefly go over. It's got 4 different case files to it, which is the memorandum or the theory. It's got all the scale models and test results for publication. So then it could be copyrighted and then blown up in scale. And then it's got the ultimate failure record and the summary, which is just a bunch of legal nonsense. But in there were records of a top secret project which details plans to build the UFO. But it looks like it was taken out of a science fiction movie and it was put into motion in 1950. The government wanted engineers and inventors to construct a dish-shaped aircraft, not a disc, a dish-shaped
disc
that could travel at supersonic speeds and extremely high altitude. According to the back of the declassified documents, the government wanted engineers to create a UFO that could reach a staggering speed of well over Mach 4 and could travel to an altitude of over 30,000 meters, which is well over 100,000. That then jumps and ties back into the start in 1956, where they claimed it was just meant to be a vertical takeoff and landing craft, aka a VTOL. The project was allegedly supposed to have been created by now defunct Avro Aircraft of Ontario. The project was estimated to cost over $3 million back then. However, the project cost around $26 million. So, I mean, if you're talking almost a 9 times inflation rate from then to now, that's a whole lot of damn barbecue, Goose.
Oh, yes. That is a lot of barbecue.
However, officially, the government terminated Project 1794 in December of 1961 after initial tests apparently demonstrated that the flying saucer's design was aerodynamically unstable and would probably not survive high speeds. So far, from over 2 massive boxes filled with denials of Project 1794, only 4 confirmed images have been digitalized, and it remains a great mystery why, in fact, our wonderful government waited over 60 years to declassify the documents. It is concluded that the stabilization and control of the aircraft in the manner proposed, aka the propulsive jets that are used to control the aircraft, is feasible, and the aircraft can be designed to have satisfactory handling through the whole flight range from ground, cushion, takeoff, to supersonic flight at very high altitude, average 704. They have no actual reasoning, backing, decision-making other than a terminated stamp across this report. Millions of dollars.
Terminated,
effective immediately. I think it was December 1st or 3rd of 1961 is when they first got it.
Makes you wonder why. We'll have to do a little bit more digging, and we really appreciate Dixon O'Dime for writing in and making us aware of that.
And for anyone who is in the kind of southeastern area and is not too far away from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, home of Wright-Patterson Airfield, which is a whole conspiracy rabbit hole to itself.
Yes, it is.
Has the apparent only neither confirmed built or neither confirmed remaining flying saucer that was a reconnaissance test aircraft. That was this identical design, dimensions and everything, but instead of having a jet propulsion, it has two small, cute little turboprops.
Now, and that was the one, too, that they said it wasn't technically feasible. It didn't work right, correct?
It wasn't technically feasible, but this twin propeller engine-driven aircraft set all sorts of altitude records. It was pressurized. The glass on the cabin is damn near 6 inches thick. I know because I stuck my tongue on it and got in trouble for licking it. The schnozberries did not taste like schnozberries. Yeah. They taste like hand sanitizer. But how are you going to say that? That you mentioned Project 1794 as an inspiration and design to this thing right on the damn plaque. And if you got half a brain, you Google Goose Project 1794. And then you look over, because on all the aircraft they have displayed there, it has the height, the width, the length, the volumetric holdings, every spec you can fathomably come up with that are identical to the Project 1794 schematics.
Wow.
Less a jet engine, in addition to two propellers.
We're going to take a short break. We're going to, when we come back, after the break, we'll have a very special interview that we recorded earlier today, In Dark Places, the podcast with Tracy and Junebug. That'll be coming up. And then we'll come back in segment 3. We'll talk about the big announcement part 2 and wrap things up for this week. What are we listening to, Dirty Dan?
We're listening to Hear That Chew Bubblegum.
We'll be right back.
Take a lighter look into the darker side of the world. Join Elliot, Gertie, and Beagle as they jump into the dark abyss of hauntings, serial killers, conspiracy plots, and beyond. The Spooky Family Podcast premieres July 1st, wherever you find and listen to quality podcasts.
Hello, everyone of Here to Chew Bubblegum. Welcome in to a very special interview with the guys from In Dark Places. I'm talking about Tracy and Junebug. Welcome, guys. Glad you're on the show.
Howdy, howdy. Good to be here, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tracy. Thank you very much, Junebug. Dirty Dan will be joining us momentarily. He's running just a little bit behind. The first question I'm going to ask you guys, when did you start your podcast together?
It was back in March, I think right toward the tail end of March, at last Wednesday, on the 24th or so like that. We're 19 episodes in right now.
Well, good. And I understand, Tracy. Sorry, Tracy, that you've been podcasting since 2013. Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. A friend of mine, Joe Atkins, me and him was on a show back in, we actually started in 2013 on the Paramania Radio Network. It was called Awakening Radio. We did that for 2 years when we talked about various things, like what you guys do, Bigfoot, a lot of cryptid stuff, a lot of UFO, unidentified things. And we tried to really just not really debunk, but to put just a common sense spin on a lot of it. Some of it we could, some of it we couldn't. So yeah, I mean, off and on since 2013, and then Junebug does his research with the Appalachian Research Organization, UFO organization, and he come on our show, and that's kind of how me and him met up. And after Joe and I's show kind of disbanded and went on, I was actually looking to get into something, and Junebug kind of got a hold of me and said, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about doing a podcast." And I was like, "Man, I'm in. Let's do it."
There you go. Tell us a little bit, Junebug, about your UFO investigation.
We started back in October of 2012, whenever the thing was seen over Pikeville,
Okay,
in Virgie, Kentucky.
You're talking about the Google Internet balloon,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
I don't think that's what it was.
Me and Kyle Lovren and Chad McKenzie, we started up our little UFO group. I had met Kyle back in 2010. He's wrote a couple books on UFOs, and I had known of him all my life, and then finally he was on Coast to Coast with George Norrie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Talking about his book. Him and he was with Stanton Friedman that night. Stanton kind of introduced him to George, and I saw him in the store where I work, and oh man, I just got to talk to you. So we hooked up, and we started up the group, and it's been since 2012, so we've been going on 9 years now.
So you guys actually went out and did investigations, correct, on these sites and stuff?
Yeah, we investigated the CSX UFO collision thing.
All right, now that is one of my favorite subjects that we've talked about on the show locally. You know, I mean, that is our Roswell.
Yeah,
you know, tell me just a little bit about that, because I know we've talked in email months ago, and there might be stuff you don't want to mention, just stuff that you want to mention. Please tell me about the CSX UFO versus train near Paintsville, Kentucky.
We had heard about that. Kyle wrote about it in his second book, and one of our other members, he's no longer, he died back in 2013, Mark Corbin. He had investigated the CSX collision, and after he passed away, he had told us that's what he was working on, but he never did really run into anything. He talked to the yard master at the railroad yard. He said, "Yeah, I can tell you that really happened. I saw the train limping into the yard that night." And so me and Chad and Kyle got together after Mark had died. Like, we got to pick this up and see what he could find. And we couldn't run into anything. We found that yard master's best friend. The yard master himself wouldn't talk to us. He talked to Mark. I guess he got scared after he talked to Mark. And so we talked to his friend that hooked them up. And he said, "Yeah, I've known him all my life. That really happened." He wouldn't lie about stuff like that.
But he wouldn't talk to you all about nothing like that. What kind of vibe did that give you? What was your thoughts after, and I'm sorry, that your friend passed away, but you were picking up his work, his legacy, so to speak. And what kind of vibe did you feel? Sad that you'd hit a wall, or did you just keep going, or did something inside say, "I need to stop and just let this go"? What did you do from that point?
You could just sense a massive cover-up all around it, because everywhere we turned, everything was just too clean. We couldn't find any witnesses. Nobody had seen anything. And we went down and investigated the site. We used the UFO reporting center coordinates where they had the mile marker and everything. And we went down on the spot of where the collision happened, took a Geiger counter down and everything. It was years after the fact, but there should have been something.
Right. Trace evidence still.
Yeah, it was just too clean. It's just all new gravel there. Everything was spotless.
All new gravel.
Yeah, it was. It didn't make a bit of sense.
So even years later, you could tell all new gravel. It looked different than what it had before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it just seemed off, the whole thing.
That's one story I'm fascinated in, because when I first heard about it and I read it, to me, the unknown guy that made the report, that reads like an incident report.
It does.
Because there's too many details. Plus, the name Ferguson, that's obviously a guy that works for the government, and I doubt Ferguson's his real name. What's your thoughts on that, Tracy, the CSX UFO Paintsville, Kentucky incident?
Well, I come in after the fact, after all this has happened, and I've just been getting what Junebug has been telling me, but he's pretty reliable. Him and Chad, I know him and Chad McKenzie both, and knowing those two, they're going to turn some stones, and if they're not finding anything, I'm a firm believer in, it's covered up. And for what reason it's covered up? I mean, well, why do they cover any of it up, really? So I'm pretty confident that it happened. But what's more convincing to me is that how clean everything was in the cleanup. Like you said, there's new gravel. That's just not a normal train derailment. I mean, you're looking at massive cleanup with a train derailment, but with something like that, it wasn't a massive cleanup. It was just a quick come through, clean it up. Everybody shut up. Nothing happened here. Look at this red light and we'll forget everything.
Yeah, definitely. As Junebug's telling me this story and the cleanup, and I could see his eyes, the excitement in his eyes, the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up, and they still are right now. Now there was did you, and you might not even want to talk about this. If you don't, that's fine, Junebug. But after your friend passed away, was there something shipped or sent to his wife that made no sense?
Yeah, that got into some really weird stuff there. After he died, they would not give him like an autopsy report or anything like for the family, and they said he had like a rare lung thing. And on Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theorist show, we saw an episode one day that they could like zap you and make you look like you had a heart attack or whatever.
Yeah, there's a supposed, well, that was Nikola Tesla's death ray, the heart attack stun gun, I think is what they call about it now. There is claims that is real and does exist, and that's what cost Nikola Tesla his life, when he was hit by the car.
Scary.
So,
and on top of that, if you remember back when the Russians put rice into the umbrella and stabbed the guy in the leg, and a couple of days later he had a heart attack from castor beans, which are very hard to find on a autopsy. It's really, if the KGB's using it, I mean, and it mimics a heart attack.
Yeah.
So, there's things out there.
A couple of months after Mark passed away, the governor of Kentucky, I can't remember who it was at the time, he sent his wife, his widow, a packet of congratulating her like on Mark's service that he did for the country and everything, and Mark was never in the military, so that everybody's like, what?
Now see, that right there blows my mind.
That's crazy.
I mean, he was never in the military. He never served in the military. What's your opinion on that? Did you guys, when you were doing your own investigation after he passed away and you went to the site, and after you talked to people, did you notice anybody following you around? Did you look over your shoulder? Is that something that you guys even did?
I was intentionally paying attention to that, if anybody would be following us around or anything, because Chad and his girlfriend at the time had been on their radio show. They had like power failures and stuff like that. It wouldn't be storming outside, and they would have, it sounded like their phone lines were being tapped and everything. You hear like the clicking.
Right.
And, they would go out like to Walmart or whatever, and there'd be black sedans following them around, and it's kind of weird. But we never have, me and Kyle, we've never seen anything like that, people following us around or anything.
Do you think your friend got too close to the truth? Was there any missing files? Was there ever anything he's like, man, you won't believe what I've uncovered? I have to tell you about this, and then didn't get a chance to? Was there anything about that?
I swear, I think he did get too close. His widow thought so as well, and his sister, and even his mom, and the whole family. They went through a lot after he died. His brother committed suicide, and then their mom died a couple years after that, and that family's just been through it. But yeah, they always thought that there was something suspicious about his death as well.
Right. That's sad to think that our government would do that, but
Well, that kind of puts me in mind of, and I've mentioned this in Dark Places show a couple times, the guy named Dr. Richard Reed, who had his UFO encounter, and afterwards his life has been flipped upside down. I mean, we're talking about a guy who was a doctor. He was prominent in his community, and now he lives in hotels because, I mean, they have totally ruined his life. because of the things that he has seen. So if anybody out there, I mean, you can, it was on an old Coast to Coast with Art Bell show. Just look up Dr. Richard Reed and listen to his story. And I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but I can say that if what he says is the truth, that is probably one of the most amazing UFO stories I've ever heard in my life.
I am not familiar with him, but I wrote his name down. I'm definitely going to check him out. You know, to me, where this story is so close to us, I just find it fascinating. And I have talked about it. I have put Freedom of Information request in to state agencies, local agencies, the CSX itself, and I've not heard nothing back. I got a standard letter from a state agency that I put trying to get a Freedom of Information Act release back in November, and it just basically stated, due to COVID, our research is taking a little longer than possible. If we find anything, we'll gladly let you know. And I've not heard anything since then. It's very rare, but there is a thing called river submarines. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. They supposedly quit using them in the mid-40s. But they're still, if you look up submarine classifications, there's still a classifications. I can't remember what class it is, but it's basically a river submarine, and it's designed to stay below 15 feet, in rivers. It has a skeleton crew on it of like 4 or 5 people. They're supposed to be really hard to operate. But, and Tracy, I want your thoughts on this. When Junebug first told me this story, I think I mentioned river submarines to you, because not far from where that happened at, I think in Huntington or something, there is a military base, correct? Or something close to the area.
I'm racking my brain, man. This is all new to me. And I could look out my front window and see Huntington.
Yeah.
Because I'm right on the river right here. I've lived on the river all my life. The closest thing that I could even think would be, we got our National Guard guys here. But as far as, that's all new to me.
Yeah. There is river submarines. They do exist. And you've got, Dayton, Ohio is not too far. From us. You've got Cincinnati. So, and I'm just what-ifing here. This is just my theory. Let's say that we've got river submarines that go through all this because, in our area especially, there's a lot of tractor-trailers that go through sometimes. Some of this stuff, is on the USA trucks, the white ones. And you yourself, Tracy, being a former truck driver, I'm sure you know about the USA trucks with the...
Yes.
Yeah. Those are the ones that you stay away from. And,
yes.
I had a friend of mine, and I've told this story on the show before. He worked in law enforcement. He actually stopped one of those. And before he got out of his car, there was 2 black Suburbans that pulled up behind him. And they're, rolling the windows down and yelling and waving badges and stuff. And so, he passed that along to me, that funny story. He was working the highway at that time, Route 80. Right. And the guys that were in the sedans, they had legit government credentials, badges and so forth. And they told him, he had to let that truck go. That was a contractor for the United States government.
Right.
So,
and with that, if people knew how often that happened, they would get freaked out, because just myself, I know that I've hauled upwards of $80 and $90 million worth of narcotics going across the country. And we did have armed escorts,
right,
in front and in back, but it was so inconspicuous that nobody even knew it.
Right.
But you're looking at, there's companies out there that haul. There is so much top secret stuff that are out there on the interstates and highways that it would blow people's mind how often that happens.
And my friend, it really freaked him out, that he had people pull up behind him like that afterwards. And because he told me there was probably 4 people in each car, and they had major firepower. And,
yes, it's no joke. It's really no joke.
But what's your guys? Junebug, I'll start with you. What's your thoughts on the river submarine thing? Now, I'm not saying that the UFOs were looking for the river submarine. They could have been, and I think honestly that, and this is just my thinking. I think that the incident did happen because, number one, it's wrote too much like an incident report. You can't find out a lot. Like you said, you talked to the yard master, then nobody wanted to talk to you. I've contacted people in that town. Nobody wants to talk to me about it either. Let's just say that the UFOs were there and they knew that river submarines were there. What's your thoughts on that? Or do you think it could have been something of ours that the train hit?
I think you hear a lot of stories about UFOs over large bodies of water and stuff.
Yes.
I think they draw some kind of energy from water. So it was just my theory that they were there. It's right off the river. They were getting some kind of energy from the river, because I think there was like three of the lights in all, and 2 of them kind of left, like they saw the train coming, like, uh-oh, we got to go, boys. But the other one
didn't. They, I don't, for people that know this story and they say, oh, well, that was probably a top secret government project. I don't think it was, because number one, if you were doing a top secret project like that, you would check the train schedule. You would know when a train was going to be there and when a train was not going to be there. I mean, because the feds control everything. What's your thoughts, Tracy?
Well, I go to 2 really theories of thought on that. Could it have been an accidental crash? Could that have actually been going down regardless, and that's just where it ended up, in the side of that train? Or if it was one of ours and it be top secret, I could see where all the secrecy comes from. And I'm a firm believer in national security. If our government's working stuff that's, they don't want anybody else to know, then we probably shouldn't really know it right offhand.
Right.
I got no problem with that. If that keeps us safe, I'm all for that. Don't tell me, but don't give me a bunch of misinformation crap either. Don't send me down these rabbit holes that don't exist. On these river submarines, wow, man, I'm really intrigued. And if you think about it, if crafts from other places, even our crafts, they would use riverways and waterways as like road maps.
Yeah.
Just as reference points, I would imagine, because my wife about 15 years ago had a sighting. She was actually crossing from Ohio into Kentucky, in Ashland, Kentucky, and one flew over the Ashland Bridge right there across the Ohio River. She said it was just like it was following the river. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's uncommon, and these submarines could be, you have all kinds of reports of these things going in and out of water all the time. And it wouldn't be no different than a chance encounter, just be, trying to find one of these going through the water, or finding out a source, or, how much do we know about what's underwater? Even in our rivers, we really don't know a whole lot, what goes on. So, or is it some sort of security from, our own government protecting our waterways and things? I mean, there's just so many different things out there, but I'm definitely intrigued. I'm going to start looking into that. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. There are, and the use DuckDuckGo as a search engine. I mean, you can find that they do exist and see pictures of them on Google of river submarines, but you can find more uncensored information on DuckDuckGo. And you don't have to download the app. You could go to duckduckgo.com and then do your searches from there like you would, Google. But river submarines do exist. We got just a few more minutes with Junebug, and we're going to keep Tracy on. Junebug, when was the last time that you've went out and done an actual investigation?
It's been a while now. There's a guy that I work with. He has seen a lot of cool stuff in a place where he lives over is toward Crum, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And he grew up over there, and he saw tons of weird stuff over there. And me and Kyle went out and investigated that a few times, just kind of looking around the area. But he saw a big black triangle one time. Him and a friend of his, they were walking home one night, and it was kind of like in a late fall evening, and kind of cool out in the nighttime, and they kind of stopped, and they're like, man, there's a warm spot here. What's this all about? And
Right.
they were just standing there putting their hands in the warm, and they looked up, and there's a big triangle over top of them. He said it blocked out the whole sky, and they were just sitting there looking at it, and it shot off and went over the mountain over across the river from them. And when they got home, they like their sisters and mom and everybody, they said, where you been? You're like 45 minutes late. You should have been here a long time ago, and just walking down the road.
So they lost track of time that way.
It's crazy.
Wow.
So
wow.
we looked into that.
Well, you know, definitely, if, you know, there's a case that interests you that you want to go out and do some research on, please contact me, because I would like to maybe meet up with you and just go out and join in with you, and I'll stay out of your way. Maybe I could just video you guys and stuff, and we could put it on both for YouTube pages and so forth, social media pages.
Awesome.
You know, all you got to do is let me know. And what was Kyle's last name?
Loveren. L-O-V.
Lovern?
Yep.
Okay. And if you don't care, I would like to try to get him on the show too, maybe have you back very, very soon, you and Kyle both, and we can get Tracy hooked up and just have all of you guys on the show, if that sounds good.
That'd be awesome.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
I know you had to take off. I'll let you go ahead and take off, and I want to say it's been a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for coming here. I'm sorry we got started a little bit late with the interview, but we will have you back on really soon, Junebug. Thank you very much.
That's cool. I had a great time.
Well, good. Thank you very much.
Junebug, we'll see you, man.
Yeah, we'll see you, Tracy. Be good, man.
Again, that was Junebug of In Dark Places. We're going to continue on with Tracy just a little bit. And thank you very much again, Junebug. Tracy, any local UFO cases that interest you? What's your thoughts on some of those?
You know, there was a string that went on. There's not one particular that comes to mind, but I know there was a string of sightings back about 3 summers ago. And I learned a lot about them through Junebug. He would send me a message, say, hey, one was seen in Chillicothe, which is, I don't know, about an hour and a half drive from me, north of here. And then, a couple of days later, one was seen in Grayson, Kentucky, which is 20 minutes from me. And then a couple of days later, he'd send one and say, hey, one was seen in Paintsville, which is about an hour from me. And I'm thinking, are these the same craft that people are seeing? Are these a bunch of different ones? What direction? I mean, why are they going in the way they're going? It's just it just fascinates me, like when these come in clusters, because you really don't know. The first thing I think of is, okay, it's one craft going in a particular direction. Okay, why is it going in that direction? Why is it being seen now? Versus, some people may never see one in their entire life. And then, you have some people who see 3 or 4. And that just kind of intrigues me of, if you get a cluster of them, what is the direction they're going? How often are people seeing them? How long, and all that. Are we talking about missing time long? Or are we talking like just a couple seconds seeing them? So it all intrigues me quite a bit. But to say one specific one around here, we get them here locally from where I'm at, but it's usually somebody will say, I seen something streaking across the sky, and it's, more than likely you find out it's a satellite. But then you have, the rare few who say, it's 300 feet above my house. I was in a swimming pool at midnight, and it flew over top of my house and covered the entire sky. It looked like a Walmart going across the sky. Those are a little more intriguing.
Yes, they are. And as Junebug said, a lot of reports, they are spotted near bodies of water, power plants, or army bases. And yes. I guess where you're talking about Ashland and stuff, sightings and this and that, how many air miles from Ashland to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton? I'm going to say, maybe 100 air miles, if it's that many?
I would say just maybe 100 air miles, if that.
So I mean, that's close, and
Oh yeah.
That is a place I would definitely like to go check out. And I'm not talking about the public stuff. I would like sometime to check out some of their private stuff, because there's a lot of people that claim that there's nothing at Area 51 anymore as far as UFO related. That if there is, it's underground or it's at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. All that stuff was shipped.
Right. Well, we know, everybody's in what we do. I mean, everybody's familiar with the Hangar 18 at
yes,
Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. But Area 51 has been almost commercialized now.
Yes, it has.
They take it's kind of like when these guys say, if you pay me $100, we're going to spend a weekend out in the woods and we're going to go find Bigfoot. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you got 40 or 50 people traipsing through the woods, you're probably not going to find anything but maybe a ground squirrel and a few nuts. So it's almost commercialized, and they've pushed the area back so far from Area 51. You have to have a high-powered zoom lens to see even an airplane land.
Yes.
Go across the sky over that thing. I think my question is, how many other Area 51s are out there that we don't know about?
Definitely. And we've talked about in plain sight. I think the Denver International Airport is one of those that's hid in plain sight.
Well, the Jenny planes fly in and out of Nevada.
Yes.
Las Vegas to Area 51 all the time.
Yeah, the McCain Air Force, or not the McCain Airport.
Right. The red tail flying Jennies. They're all unmarked, and supposedly that's the employees going in and out. But when you have to have aircraft that are hidden to fly your employees in and out, there's still, I think, a few things going in and out over there. Now, it may not be from out of this world, but it may be top secret stuff. But either way, with the reputation of Area 51, the first thing that comes to mind is, okay, well, they're reverse engineering something in there, or they're, autopsying some other alien being or some type of creature in there.
Definitely. And you have to, there's people that say, no, Roswell, it was an Air Force balloon, it didn't happen. I really do not think it was a weather balloon. I think something happened there because, and I don't think there was a plan in place to deal with it. That's why they retracted the story. And you can look at the technology that came years later. Just a few years later, and it was leaps and bounds for us, just the technology wise. And it's got better and better and better.
I've never seen a definition of what swamp gas is. That was the big thing.
Yeah.
Back in the 50s. Oh, it's just swamp gas. Well, if I don't live anywhere near a swamp, what in the world is swamp gas?
Yeah, definitely.
And, I think the government, when it comes to this type of stuff, I don't know if they think that we as just a human race are ignorant, but generally most people can tell the difference between, a weather balloon material or metallic metal who holds its shape. And there were many, many reports of this metallic metal all over Roswell that you could crumple up in your hand and it would go right back to its normal shape, but it was still in a metal form. That's not weather balloon.
No, it's not. It was, there was a craft there. And this is for, I'm going to say this for people that, just to make them think a little bit. If UFOs or other life forms don't exist, why would NASA, and they did this, I think, maybe last year or year before last, they have a position at NASA called the NASA Planetary Protection Officer. And his job duties are to monitor space and report and make sure he keeps planet Earth safe. That is a legit position at NASA, and you can look that up, a Planetary Protection Officer. If stuff didn't exist, why would they even create a position like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's what I mean by I don't know if the government thinks that we're if we have that short of a memory, or if we're just that inept, or I mean, it's almost a slap in the face to our intelligence with some of the stuff they come up with, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see. If you can put two and two together and connect some dots, I mean, you'll see it. It's not hit. I mean, they hide it in plain sight. It's not that hard to find. And then when they finally do release something, they'll say, "Oh, we're going to release this and this and this," and it'll be 8 pages long, and all you can read is 2 sentences out of the 8 pages because they've blacked everything out. Well, what are they blacking out? Yeah, okay, national security, I can see some of that, but every single time, all of this is national security. I mean, what are you hiding?
Exactly. I totally agree with you. Again, we're speaking with Tracy from In Dark Places, and he's also the co-host of Seth's podcast. Can you
Seth's Daily Podcast?
Yes, Seth's Daily Podcast. Can you tell us just a little bit about that, about what you do on that, and about any upcoming episodes?
Oh yeah. Me and Seth, when In Dark Places, when me and Junebug started that, it was a weekly thing, and Seth actually asked us onto his show. And me and Seth kind of hit it off, and he's like, "Hey man, I do this almost every day. Would you like to co-host?" And I was like, "Sure, absolutely, So yeah, Seth and I, we do a lot of cryptid stuff. We do some UFO stuff. We do a lot of music, upcoming, especially local guys. But we got a few of them that signed. We did some. He did an interview with Joe Teti from the Discovery Channel. And we did some Mike Goldberg from the UFC, and we've had a few pretty good, names on, and we're still pushing. We do it every day. Now, here the past week, I've had some surgery done to my shoulder, and I've not been my best with being on pain meds and stuff. So we've kind of taken the past 3 or 4 days, but we're actually getting back at it tomorrow. We're going to put one out tomorrow. We are booked. Seth and I are booked every day. Our calendar is all the way up into mid-September now. We've got folks scheduled to be on. So, but both shows are tons of fun. I enjoy both those guys. And yeah, man, I'm just having the time of my life.
Well, that is great. Again, we're speaking with Tracy, and thank you very much for coming on the show, Tracy. Is there anything you want to say in closing?
If this goes, I mean, with it doesn't matter if you're looking at UFOs or if you're looking at cryptid animals, or if you're looking at Bigfoot. Used to, if somebody come to you with a UFO story or a Bigfoot story, the first thing that society would do is you're crazy. And with the exposure of everybody having basically a video camera on their phone, and we're getting more and more video and more exposure to these things, that stigmatism is kind of going away. We don't see, the typical trailer park interview from somebody with 2 teeth holding a cigarette and a baby talking about how they saw Bigfoot looking in their window. Now you have more prominent people who are coming out, and I just always try to tell people, don't foo-foo everything you hear, because some of it is fake. I give you that. Some of it is misinformation, but not all of it is, and people are seeing something out there.
Totally agree. And again, everybody, be sure to check out In Dark Places with Tracy and Junebug, and Seth's Daily Podcast with Seth and Tracy. Again, thank you very much, Tracy. It's been great having you on the show, and we look forward to having you back.
Yes, sir. Can't wait to come back. Had a great time. Thank you, sir.
Are you a horror movie fan? Yeah, I dig horror movies. Are you searching for a great internet horror talk radio show to listen to? Why, sure. That sounds quite spiffy. Then you need to tune into deadpit.com. It's the original horror talk radio show. Dead Pit is a show by the fans and for the fans. Uncensored and unbiased opinions are the goal of the show, giving fans honest reviews on new films and vintage classics of the horror genre. Make deadpit.com your #1 horror station destination.
You can always call, text, or leave a voicemail for Here to Chew Bubblegum at 606-373-3396.
And welcome back to Here to Chew Bubblegum. We really enjoyed having a talk with Tracy and Junebug. Hopefully we'll have them back on very, very, very soon. Segment 3, Dirty Dan. Big announcement. Part 2. The cat is out of the bag. We are next week on next week's show, episode 42, going to have an interview with a representative from Ingersoll Lockwood. Mr. DJ Nicky will be on the show, and what we hope
in the flesh.
Yes, and what we hope will be, hopefully, like after this airs, this first couple of episodes, we'll hopefully have a second interview with him. And
well, no, Goose. Hopefully, we'll have a third.
Okay, hey, that sounds great to me. Second, third, fourth.
Because we've confirmed the second with him, but remember in that voicemail that everybody listened to.
Oh yeah.
He mentions board members, and there's a Mr. SGS Jr. that has popped up in my Telegram.
Really?
Yeah, I'm awaiting for. I've been left on red, so I'm like having my heartstrings played with here. But I don't know if it's legit or not. But hey, we also questioned the Ingersoll Lockwood site at first to begin with as well. So I'm going to take it as he's a very, very highly sought after, incredibly and understandingly busy man.
Yes.
And he is very aware that we've been in contact with Mr. DJ Nicky and remain in contact. So hopefully when the timing is right, I'll hear a little bell go off and I will have a faint episode for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, that sounds good to me. I hope that you do have a lot of smelling salts there. Smelling salts. I don't know why the hell I said sauce for.
Bath salts. So, your face looks tasty.
And, I'm going to have to check my Telegram. The last couple of days I've just been on, but I've not been able to really look at it. I'm going to have to check mine out. I'm not going to do that right now. But
no, pay attention to me.
Yes,
Look at me.
Yes.
I am the captain now.
For those fans of the show, we do have a TikTok. Just search Here to Chew Bubblegum. You will find that. We posted just a screenshot of a Facebook post we did a couple of weeks ago. Well, actually, it was last week. And we have over 10,000 views on that. And then I put a preview of the interview up. As of just a few moments ago, we have over 3,700 views on that. And I am going to play that TikTok video, the audio portion, for you now. We're going to start out segment one. We're going to talk about the Ingersoll Lockwood website. And Dirty Dan has something to say.
How do you get to Wonderland? Over the hill or underland? We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity.
And what Dirty Dan just read, you can find that at ingersolllockwood.com/QA.
You must type it. And
you must put /QA, because if you don't, you will not get to it. You said we should try to call them right now? Okay, we can try to call them right now.
You have reached the voicemail of Cyber Defense Media Group. Please leave a message after the tone. Thank you for calling.
Hello, this is Goose from Here to Chew Bubblegum. I'm here with Dirty Dan, and we do a podcast called Here to Chew Bubblegum. I have emailed you. Dirty Dan also emailed you. We would like an interview with a representative from your company. If you can please call us back at area code 606-373-3396 or email us back, goose@heretochewbubblegum.com. Dirty Dan at heretochewbubblegum.com. We would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and please get in touch with us.
Yeah, hi. This is Daryl J. Nicky, or DJ Nicky, calling for Goose, or I'm sorry, I wrote the other gentleman's name down. Dirty Dan. Anyway, I'm calling on behalf of Ingersoll Lockwood. They've gotten your emails, and especially the last voicemail, and they asked me to call back.
Ladies and gentlemen of Here to Chew Bubblegum, myself and Dirty Dan want to send a very special welcome and thank you for our next guest, Mr. DJ Nicky, who is a subcontractor with Carbon Capture Shields, which is one of the projects that Ingersoll Lockwood Company is overseeing. DJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's awesome to be here.
Why can't we find much online about Ingersoll Lockwood, the person, other than the basic stuff? And there's not much of that there.
I don't know if he was an actual historical person or if he was injected into the timeline or inject it into our history books, on a very thorough basis, because you can see he's listed, on the books of Hanover, the Kingdom of Hanover, as an ambassador, all kinds of stuff. So he definitely was a real person, but yeah, it's hard to find actual information about him apart from his own writings.
And that was a special preview. And again, that's currently on our TikTok profile. Here to Chew Bubblegum. Just look for it. And thank you very much again, Mr. DJ Nicky. And I know people might be saying, wow, you guys are thanking him a lot. The interview's not even aired yet. But he is a hell of a guy. Great guy. He's doing a lot of incredible things. Has an incredible backstory.
And all the good started in Kentucky.
Yes. Exactly. So what does that tell you? Kentucky is a special state.
We're special, all right.
No matter what the Family Guy said about Kentucky, you know what they said, right? Kentucky is a state. Kentucky is a state. All the people there, Dix, Kentucky is a state. So
yeah.
That's the only thing I'm sure there's several things me and Seth MacFarlane disagree on, but we disagree on that one.
You know what? But Seth MacFarlane, and for the people that don't know, I am also a musician. I do play a mean set of spoons while I'm waiting for my meat to smoke. But I have played the Family Guy score. And a lot of people don't know that, yeah, he's got a music producer, but Seth actually notates or dictates. Like, he was the one who wrote the song, and Jerry Reed just made it into actual music.
Really?
Same thing with American Dad. I don't, like you, I don't agree with the guy on a lot of stuff, but I also respect him because he doesn't push it down your throat.
No, he does not. You had a story you showed me there on screen during that. Do you want to talk about that now, or do you want to save that where we're late getting it out and save it for another show?
I think it would be a good ending segment after the Ingersoll Lockwood because it can be tied together.
Okay. Well, you go ahead and let her rip, Tater Chip.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed the show, you want to tell us anything, you want to send us swooning and wonderful comments, or tell us to go fuck ourselves, call, text, or leave a voicemail at 606-373-3396, specifically Dirty Dan. You can email us at goose@heretochewbubblegum.com, dirtydan@heretochewbubblegum.com, or rebecca@heretochewbubblegum.com. You can also email Pup, Ned, or Elliot at heretochewbubblegum@yahoo.com.
Go ahead and give your special shout out.
And continuing from the radio, this is going to be something that we're going to start doing for about a month's time. We are looking into people or groups or greater good for the cause like we are. We just want to know the truth about things. And this is a group that's very near and dear to my heart based on some professional work I used to do. And if you want to check them out, they have taken their talents and connections to the highest degree of self-service to give back to those who need it most. You can open up your YouTube app and search Adventures with Purpose, use an internet browser, and go to http://www.youtube.com/C/Adventures with Purpose. And or if you're even more interested in helping them out after checking them out, then you can go and check them out and support in many, many, many other ways by going to Sam Jarrett and Gang's official website, adventureswithpurpose.com. I am not affiliated with them. I'm not sponsored to say that. But if you watch even 30 seconds of their videos, the amount of good they do, not only for a single person or families or distant families, but entire communities. Absolutely heartwarming to know that there are still people out there that will travel across the country for months on end, leaving their jobs to try and help bring closure to bad situations.
Very well said. Very well said. And also to clarify, when this drops here in just a little bit, I did not edit out. You wanted to save the Hitler thing for the Ingersoll Lockwood stuff, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't want any hate mail saying that I cut that segment. I had to specify.
No, because
that.
we can talk about a freshly discovered Nazi bunker in the hills of Lublin, Poland. Anytime, but part of this story will tie directly to some of the stuff that's said in that interview. So why not wait to give some more of your candy with some of your candy?
There you go. That sounds good to me. We're going to close things out. I want to say special thanks to Carlin for all the voiceover work, CK, Uncle Bill, and the rest of the gang over at deadpit.com. Justin Perkins of Talk Junkie. Be sure to check out Down on the Holler with Jordan and Brad. Don't forget about Seth's Daily Podcast. Also, don't forget about the Spooky Family Podcast. For more information, be sure to visit spookyfamilypodcast.com. Again, special thanks to Tracy and Junebug of In Dark Places. Also up today and was posted on YouTube, Paranormal Trucker's first episode. Be sure to tune in and check out the Paranormal Trucker, formerly known as Cronkite, Large Marge, and Snowman. And if you want to awaken more, be sure to check out Rebecca Short on TikTok. That'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week, and until then, so long for now.
Maybe I'm not leaving. Maybe I'm just going home.
Thanks for listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Tune in next time as we dive deeper into things the government doesn't want us to know.